So I was watching a YouTube video where Larry Wheels had visited to India, and I saw that in the comments, the people were complaining that how there's so much honking in the background. But that was not something surprising to me. Like, I was not paying even attention to it. And today, when I was outside, I realized that I do not actually pay special attention to any honking on the roads. So by that I mean, like, if you on the road, you're assuming that people are going to honk, even if it means nothing at all. Like, it's such a common thing to do on the road. I have not seen a single road on which, like, there is no honking. So it was surprising to me that people who are especially not from India were pointing it out. And I know it's a basic courtesy to keep the road clean, like both in terms of not throwing trash and reducing noise pollution as well. But still, I was thinking about it, and I like came to a conclusion that it is because there is a low trust in the society. With all due respect, like, I've been to Singapore, I've been to USA, and uh, these countries are considered as a high social trust countries. And our country, India, is not very good at that. The next question that came to my mind was, why is that? And let's start at the base of the problem, just the honking, not the overall in general lack of social trust. But you'll you'll see that the whole process of getting a license or being able to drive a car or a vehicle on the road, it requires two major steps. The first one is sort of understanding the rules and regulation. The second one is getting your driver's license. And uh, at the very first step itself, I've seen a lot of people who do not actually know how to drive. I was once using a bike ride from Uber, and my driver actually did not know how to drive a bike, and it was very surprising to me. I think the problem starts at the very beginning, where you can see that in general, I'm not saying that everyone does it or that it is a common practice, but if you ask any common person, they are going to say that you'll have to pay a bribe to get your driver's license. Uh, and after that, when it comes to reinforcement of those traffic rules, you'll see that there is also some very few individuals who are dishonest, and again, you have to pay bribes to sort of get away with stuff. And the combination of both of these things lead to people believing that the rules are not actually rules and that you can easily break them. Second is, you can easily get away with it. And if people are not having trust on the very rules made for their safety, so why would they have any trust or any courtesy related to honking? And while I was reading about it, I came across these two things which were very interesting. So I realized that one major issue, that the lack of social trust that I was pointing out earlier, came from mass migration. So in big cities like Delhi, Mumbai, Bangalore, there are very few people who are native to the place, or who have born and brought up with their whole extended family there. And a lot of these people who are living in those states came from, outside of the state. And due to this mass migration, the traditional family values or the traditional family connection that you have with your extended family, with your clan, with your village, it's broken. And you can easily see it, like, since I moved to this new home, I've realized that I actually do not know a lot of my neighbors. Like, I know the people who are staying in my building. Also, one thing that I've noticed in society specifically, that tenants or people who are staying on rent are usually treated very differently, very sometimes very poorly, and they are not considered part of the group, part of the society, for, I don't know, for whatever reason. And when I was thinking about it, I realized that this gap or hole, which is created by the mass migration, it is filled by major things. Like if you're a working professional like me, after work and commute, you will have roughly 2 to 4 hours in a day, and I spend those hours mostly on Instagram or playing a video game like Clash of Clans or watching news, mostly that. So a lot of these avenues of entertainment, they do not have a personal connection. So when my parents were kids, they used to sit with their grandparents. They used to share stories, share experiences, like how their day went, or that's how your culture propagates from one generation to another. But what has happened in the past few decades is those connections have transformed and digital media has taken their space. So now I think a lot of those stories, a lot of those learnings are propagated by television, by shows, by YouTube, by Instagram, and it lacks a personal connection. So let's talk about television. Like if you're watching news, I am 100% sure that once a day you would come across a bulletin or a headline or a news segment that some horrific crime has happened in one city or another. And if it is happening day by day, you're getting used to those extreme stuffs, like uh, you know uh, murders, accidents, kidnapping. These are all very extreme stuff, and I'm sure that in the place you're living, you would rarely hear about it. But on the television, it is something which is very common. So as time goes by, people also start to like do not get affected by those news after a certain time, and people feel numb after hearing such incidents. Like uh, it's not considered a big deal right now. This in general creates a perception of a world which is very dangerous, and in a dangerous society, you are supposed to fend for yourself. You're supposed to make sure that your safety or your well-being is on the top. So now when it comes to social media, it's I think right now we are very much connected, but the bond between individuals have decreased or have lost their value. Social media creates an illusion of connection, like you are connected with your childhood friend, with your school teacher, with your college group, your previous job and all that, but the quality of the bond is not very strong. I mean, like the algorithm of Instagram is built such that it will push extreme content because that content has the highest engagement. And in the past few years, I have seen that content which is very extreme, which I've never heard of, like there were creators who were doing extreme stuff. So those were getting more engagement. So this shocking content also pushes biasness on the feed. Like for example, there would be there would be an issue between two communities, between two states, languages, gender. So that content will get a higher engagement or more views. Even if you're looking at movies, like in the past few years, a single genre of movies have sort of taken over, and you're seeing the same character being played in different movies. The character who's very violent and extreme, and and not a role model. So my conclusion is that when all of these factors are coming into play, the average person does not actually have a lot of time to think about other stuff. And I think in the mind of a driver, right now the focus is that people are not going to follow rules, so why should I do the same? The expectation is that even the other driver is not gonna follow the rules. He's gonna The other person is going to switch lanes without an indicator, or going to sort of make an illegal turn. So this lack of trust is the reason people are generally, I see, honking a lot. And even on roads which have very less traffic, people are still honking. And I think it is due to the perception that they believe the other person is not going to make a fair decision. So that is my conclusion. And I think in the upcoming videos, I will talk more about issues that I see regularly.